Good morning, staff, students, community members, and veterans. How about a round of applause for our band and choir this morning? Don't worry, we'll give you a chance to find a seat. There are some more seats in the front here if anybody wants to sit down from the back. My name is Tom Ho, and I'm the very proud principal of Ripon Middle School. We've had the chance of hosting our Veterans Day program every couple of years. We like to give the kids from different schools a chance to show off their musical talents for you. And so we're back at the middle school this year. Next year's program will then be back at the high school. And so we'll see you back here again in a couple of years. We have the honor of hosting our annual Veterans Day program. And every year it seems as though we have a few more people in the audience, and our community comes out in force to support our veterans. So thank you. I know the students have heard a little bit about this already in their classes, but it's good to have a little more background about Veterans Day. Today is November 9th, and we celebrate officially Veterans Day on November 11th. We recognize November 11th at 11 o'clock as the official remembrance of Veterans Day. World War I, also known as the Great War, officially ended with the Treaty of Versailles, and that was signed in June of 1919. However, fighting actually ended during World War I on a date known as Armistice Day, and that was November 11th, 1918 at 11 o'clock. And so we traditionally remember November 11th at 11 o'clock on the 11th day as Veterans Day. As I'm sure you know, World War I was not the only time our country was calling on its men and women to serve. World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Many of you know veterans of these wars personally, and you see them in our audience. They're our friends, our neighbors, our grandparents, our siblings, and our parents. And today is a day to remember the service and the sacrifice that they made for us. Next, I'd like everybody to please stand for the presentation of colors. And students, please remain standing for a little bit. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance and our national anthem. We do have an RMS student that's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Aurora.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
II Jeff Paulson, currently with the Army National Guard. Next month, he will have been in the military in the Army for 35 years. Almost all of that time as a helicopter pilot, having flown almost 4,500 hours as an Army aviator. Mr. Jeff Paulson.
Thank you, Mr. Holt. Good morning, Ripon Middle School. And good morning to the community and the veterans that we have here today. It's really a privilege for me to, in many ways, to come and not only represent the Army National Guard today, but represent over 23 million veterans that we have in our nation alive today. And to participate with you this morning in this observance of Veterans Day 2012, which, as Mr. Holt mentioned, is coming up this Sunday. I'm glad that you've already gotten the history lesson. I don't have to spend time looking at some of the details on that because we've already gone over what that is. But I did want to emphasize the part in there that what began as a celebration of victory in World War I, the reality of which didn't materialize with World War II and the historic efforts of that era and the Korean War. It became evident that we needed a Veterans Day to honor veterans past and present, and those in the future, because the reality is that evil still exists in the world, and it probably always will. And there will always need to be countries and soldiers and airmen and Marines and sailors that do have to stand up for our country and defend the rights that we all so richly enjoy here in the United States. So it is very appropriate that we continue that tradition, and I'm always so proud of Ripon. I've been born and raised here. I have seen over the years the tremendous support that we give to our military veterans, and just the richness that this community has and the spirit that we have is truly remarkable. There's really two special things about this day for me, and one that I just alluded to, having grown up here over 45 years ago. I wasn't the speaker standing up here, I was the student sitting in, I guess the bleachers look like they've been replaced, but it's the same gym. I was over here playing the trumpet and the baritone. I assure you that Mr. Nelson wasn't the director. He's much younger than I am. But it was Mr. Bischoff, and after Mr. Bischoff in high school was Mr. Shanky, both of which just participated in September with the honor flight for the World War II veterans. And so that this tradition of veterans, even just here in our school systems, who hasn't seen Mr. Frank walking around? I was never creative enough to be in his art classes, but that was, we have many veterans, and I won't begin to single out more because I'll forget some of the very important ones that we've seen over the years, the tremendous examples that we have had in our schools and in our community that we honor here today. The second part of that, not just coming back to where I went to school and thinking back to those days that I was, just like you, sitting in the bleachers, wondering what the future is like. But this particular Veterans Day is special for me because I wasn't here for last year's Veterans Day. I was deployed myself. My family experienced firsthand what it's like to be gone overseas and have a loved one in harm's way. And so coming back this last April and taking part again in the Memorial Day observance here in Ripon, down at the Village Green, and coming here today and actually being honored to be your speaker this morning does give me special pause, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity to give back a little bit and share with you some of my thoughts on the specialness of this day and the specialness of this community. While I was deployed to Afghanistan. I was in the Helmand province, that's in southern Afghanistan. I was a medevac pilot. In that particular region is headed up by the Marines, the coalition forces there. What a remarkable service that the Marines provide in a very dangerous part of the world right now. And it was just inspirational for me to pace the flight line on a daily basis, waiting for that, essentially a 911 call, call it a 9-line medevac request to evacuate wounded soldiers. I can't tell you how blessed I feel to have had that opportunity and to witness firsthand what these soldiers do on the ground. It gave me a lot of time to think about that and what drives soldiers and airmen and sailors and Marines to hold the ideals of their country and others above their own. What causes them to lay aside their job and their comfortable homes and lives and their own personal security to face those dangers of combat. Sorry, it's an emotional thing for me to think back on that, so just bear with me on it. But they do these things so we can continue to pursue the life and liberty, and in many cases afford the opportunity of freedom to people we don't even know, countries that have never experienced that. And as I reflected on that thought, I ran across the quote by a contemporary British officer, Sir James Glover. And he quotes, "A man of character in peace is a man of courage in war. Character is a habit, a daily choice of right and wrong. It's a moral quality which grows to maturity in peace and is not suddenly developed in war." I'm in the Army, just referring to the Army describes such character that Sir Glover talks about with 7 values that we instill in our soldiers and talk about on a daily basis. And the first one is loyalty, believing in and devoting yourself to something or someone. The next is duty, fulfilling your obligations, being a dependable member of a team. The third one is respect, treating other people as they should be treated and expecting others to do the same. Selfless service is very simply putting the needs of others above your own. Honor, developing the habit of living out your values in everything you do. Integrity is the 6th one. Doing what's right even when no one's looking. Heard that before.